rolling. Welcome to ForwardWarrior 2020. Tell me your name and a little bit about what you're doing.
I'm Erin Nicole and I am working on this awesome memorial piece for Trey Peters, who was a man who was tragically killed about a year ago in a horrible hate crime, and I feel very, very honored to get to memorialize him with this big painting.
How did you get involved in that process?
I got to, well, firstly I was invited by Peter again to do ForwardWarrior. This is the second time I've done it, and he asked me if I would be willing to do this piece, and I said yes, but I also would love to meet with his family and friends, and I had the honor of meeting his very best friend that they grew up like in rural Alabama since they were very, very young, and I got to learn a lot of really great things about him, and you know how happy and bright and just what a beautiful life he lived, and you know, one of the things that he loved were sunflowers, and so I get to paint some really cool sunflowers and make this a bright and happy piece to celebrate his life.
That's great. And you're painting next to Thomas, and we just talked to him earlier about how you two are going to collaborate with your two pieces.
Right, yeah, we definitely want our pieces to kind of come together and you know, merge well, and so he is doing me a very big favor by helping me get way up high. I'm scared of heights, and you know, using all his cool machinery to get like backgrounds laid down, and then we're gonna, or he is gonna help me extend a rainbow behind the piece, and yeah.
That's great. One of the things I talked about with Thomas was how usually during ForwardWarrior a lot of the artists are cooperating and out here together, but that's one of the things that's missing for most people this year.
Yeah, the event's obviously a little bit different this year, but it's really cool to come out and, you know, walk down the street and get to see all the artists that, you know, I've seen before and reconnect. You know, it's nice from stepping out from my studio where I just spend all day by myself and get to work with people, and like it's a real sense of community around here that's really supportive and awesome.
Cool. Tell me about your studio work or your other work that you work on.
So I'm primarily an oil painter. I work on canvas. I mainly paint figurative stuff, a lot of nudes, portraits, expressionism, and yeah, that's yeah.
Would you say the vibe of your studio work is a little bit more moody, or?
Yeah, for sure. My art gets called edgy a lot. Definitely, for sure. It's not bright and happy, I would say. It's designed to be a little more dark and moody.
So how does it feel to do something outside on a year like this, but it's a little more vibrant and happy as opposed to what you've been working on?
Yeah, it feels good. I get to throw in some like super bright colors that I don't normally use, and it's, you know, it's like the whole process feels, you know, there's parts of it that are the same, but it's also very different, and it's also a great, you know, introduction to people who are like walk by the street and, you know, who don't know me and aren't familiar with my work, and I get to talk to them, and they get to ask about Trey Peters, and I get to tell a little bit of his story, and yeah, just introduce myself more to this community.
Where is your previous ForwardWarrior piece? Is it still up?
Yeah, it's like right there, that big blue face, the one next to the Benjamin Franklin, the purple Benjamin. That was my very first mural ever, so that was a really fun experience for me.
What do you find the difference between oils and I guess you're using acrylic latex?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's definitely huge differences between oil painting and using acrylic paint. Obviously the drying time, the paint dries much quicker, so it's I don't use the same like blending processes. I like to paint wet on wet, and you don't really get to do that here. But I do my best to try to translate those techniques. I don't use spray paint just because I'm not experienced in it. I'm not comfortable with it yet. So I try to just translate my oil painting techniques the best I can. I literally just, especially when I start, I have a paintbrush attached to a long pole, and I just start, you know, really loosely gesturing out whatever I'm gonna be painting, and then just, you know, build it in more. So I try to keep the expressionism rather than making it more like illustrative, which is like what you see a lot also, you know, on the wall.
So you had a little bit of a false start, and maybe you took painting wet on wet a little too literally a few days ago?
Oh, yeah. Day one, unfortunately, Thomas even came and buffed out the whole area for me, which was awesome. And then I started painting on, and the background didn't get a chance to dry, and then I was throwing more wet paint on it, and then a tornado came through in the rain, and it all came down, every single bit of it. So it was a little bit of a bummer, but it was okay. I've learned not to be attached to my work anyway, so it was a great way, you know, to just, I don't know, let that go and then come back the next day and start over.
Yeah, a lot of the process here on this wall is not being attached to work and a constant change.
Yeah, that's kind of even, you know, it's public art, so I feel like that's, you know, even its purpose. One day, you know, all these will be painted over with new great work someday too, so that's what's cool about it. It's ever changing and it's always adapting.
Great. So how can people find out more about you and your art?
You can, probably the best way is to check out my Instagram. I'm soilmate, SOIL.MATE. And my website is erin-henry.com, ERIN-henry.com.
Great. Thank you so much. Anything you want to say to the kids at home just getting started in their artistic journey?
Believe in yourself and just paint every dang day, and you will get better and better and better. Yeah, and just don't stop. You can do it.